Daily Creative by Todd Henry, a practical guide for staying prolific, brilliant, and healthy. Today's title is Clear Your RAM. When your laptop grinds to a halt, or you experience the spinning wheel of death, it usually means you have way too many programs open. You only have so much random access memory. Oh, I didn't know that's what it was called. RAM. Random access memory. And when much of it is utilized by open programs and open documents, the computer lacks the resources to spend on new initiatives. There are simply too many dormant programs occupying RAM, and not enough of it free to tackle new tasks. Similarly, when we have many open creative loops occupying your mind, even in a dormant manner, it can stall your progress. It begins to feel like you're moving a wall forward an inch at a time, rather than making real progress on the work. How do you remedy this? Either close some loops or agree to put them on the back burner you have the bandwidth to deal with, until you have the bandwidth to deal with. What are your 3 most important creative loops right now? Spend the bulk of your effort on these 3 loops. The rest, well, keep a list and a plan when you'll think about them. Simple but effective. So your takeaway affirmation for today is, you only have the bandwidth to process so many open loops at a time. To succeed, clear your creative RAM. Once again, you only have the bandwidth to process so many open loops at a time. To succeed, clear your creative RAM, the random access memory. Breathe in. Breathe out. I will allow some time to journal before we check in and share. The question is, which are your 3 most important open loops right now? Which open loops can be put on hold? So I'll check back in 5-ish minutes. Please journal or sit in meditation with your reflection on clearing your RAM. Which are your 3 most important open loops right now? So what are you thinking about? What's in process? What's the most relevant? And which loops are you going to put on hold? Doesn't mean you're deleting. It's just putting on hold. And that's okay. 1 minute till we share, those that want to. You can use the chat, and I'm happy to affirm you. Community breath in. Community breath out. It is time to share. So please put in the chat, what are your 3 most important loops right now? And which loops are you going to put on hold? Because no one's shared yet, I'm going to share mine. Maybe it'll spark some interest, or maybe it's a day of you just listening. It's all good. Show up as you are, come as you are. So the 3 most important loops for myself right now is I'm working on version 2.0 of my Oracle deck. Yeah, version 2.0 is going to have an affirmation, a question, or a prompt. And there's actually going to be a video. So I'm like all of a sudden making like 111 videos. And it's quite a bit to organize. Wardrobe, location, camera crew, this, that, audio. It's a lot. But I'm so excited to have an audio visual digital component to my baby. There will be a Kickstarter for this in the future, but you can learn more about it there, withyin.ca. Another creative project that's most important is for me to gather my stories and to practice my speech. I'm taking a course on being a queer keynote speaker. And what's fascinating about that is you don't have to write a speech, which is amazing because it's you, it's yours, your stories. You know your stories, you know your life experience. So how exciting. So practicing that, structuring that, because the presentation is early May. And the other creative loop is working on the language and the text for creating a new tab on my website for oracle readings. So I love helping people through photography. And you can do this with any oracle deck, but it's really fun. You pick 2 cards or 3 cards, and what is the universe wanting to tell you? It's harder alone. Think you can get things done alone. Might be a lot of effort, but what happens with teamwork? Taking turns to be the guide, to be the leader. Isn't that interesting? So I'm working on the language around that. We'll probably do it on this platform as well, to dive deep in getting that. Which open loops can be put on hold for now? My Insight Timer course, it has to be on hold. Editing audio, new meditations, and videos for YouTube, that has to go on hold. Decluttering possessions. I'm sure we all have a closet or a drawer. It's like, boom, later, tomorrow, next week. Oh, in the summertime. Oh, in the wintertime. It's got to wait. It's not fire and hot and burning. Same thing with deleting pictures and doing social media. And I love writing poetry, but those are things that will have to be put on hold. Thank you for listening. Maybe you resonated with that. I do see we have a share from Marnie, which I'm so excited about. So this is your opportunity to share. Which are your 3 most important loops right now? Which ones are going to be put on hold? When you say it, it's real. Again, I couldn't do this alone, but I'm coming on this platform because together we rise. Self-care to community care. When you speak it, when you write it down, it's vibrationally understood. There's some part of you that's listening. Hey, Marnie. Thank you for sharing in Vermont, Northeast. Awesome possum. So the 3 most important for Marnie is self-care. And that includes being the observer in conversations to better communicate. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Bravo. Limiting my matcha intake. Did you go to Japan and get hooked? Upping my fresh juice intake. Yeah, I have a juicer, a slow juicer that presses quite well. Being a useful and loving guide to my teenager. Wow. We're here to co-create. It's always interesting with different age groups, different needs, to not bring your biases and expectations. And what Marnie's going to put on hold right now is, I love it. You're going to put worries on hold, put anxiety on hold. Back it up, step away, step away. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? In the meantime, I'm going to talk about the first thing you said, Marnie. Do you know about nonviolent communication? Do you know the pillars? I hope so. So it's Marshall Rosenberg is the book and the author, so you do know. Beautiful. So that's based in deep listening. You're going to have time to talk. I'm going to have time to talk. God gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth. So for everyone, just to remind you, and we're going to do this on Wednesday for the 5-minute wellness practices. What do you see? What's your observation of it? 2, how does it make you feel? 3, what is your needs? 4, what's your request? It's always you. Anytime it's like, well, if you do, if he, if she, if they. No. I notice that when you come home, you throw your jacket. This makes me feel that you're not aligned. You're frustrated and you don't respect keeping a flow to our entry space. You really have a need to keep at least this flow at the front of the house, neutral, open, clear. Would you be willing to take a breath, grab a hanger, and hang your jacket up. Just very quickly. Awesome. Well, it doesn't look like anyone else wants to share. This is a quiet crowd. So that was Daily Creative by Todd Henry. And we're going to do this quite a few times a week. So if you're not connected with me, please hit the bottom right corner. I am happy to be a guide. Nat shared just before we were going to end. Awesome, you got him right in. Let's see, Nat. Writing content for my website. Lord Almighty, I hear you on that. 3, call the trademark office. I actually need to do that too. Do you see how we're sharing and then it replicates? It inspires you. And then 3, prepare for accountant. I also need that too. So this is the cool thing. You show up in community and you get ideas or realizations like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, right. Nat, I'm in solidarity with you. I also need to write for my website, the Oracle card readings. I also need to trademark something. I also need to... Thank you. You're like an angel, like, boom. Hey, get to that too. Oh, there's so much to do, but we need to pause and reflect. We need to pause and breathe. We need to pause and eat. We need to sleep properly. And then each new day, boom, dive right in. Thank you, Nat, for being my accountability angel and everyone else that's here today.